What a big day for sports, but more especially when a president, you always, talk about the lack of support for the sport that you love so much, which is netball. Just take us through what went in your mind when you got the invitation to say something like this is coming, be at Sentin on this day.
Look, I was overwhelmed. Firstly, knowing that, we're struggling as women's sport. I'm not even going to say netball. We're struggling as women's sport in the country. And when you get such an invite to say a big announcement, and you're eager to understand and know, especially when it comes from Motsepe Foundation, and you're like, what is going on now? But we knew that it's on our school side, and we understand that, and we appreciate that. And, it was a massive announcement. I mean, 4 million every year for schools. I know what impact it has done for schools and how it changed a girl's child's life in the school, fraternity and in the school sport. So to us as Netball South Africa, this was quite a boost. It all begins at school level, as I said. If you want it done correctly, you cannot just wake up and say, I'm going to join a club without playing netball at school level and at club level at the same time. So to me, it's a very big boost. And as I was saying earlier, I would wish that I see that even, when they say this is 4 million, out of the money, they should also recognize the schools that are at rural area and at farms, to say, can't we give them, that facility for them to play in? I mean, netball courts are not that expensive to build. And I know that for a fact, like it's 350,000 to build a netball court. So it's, sometimes I see these schools coming from a gravel netball court and going to these school championships, that is the Motsepe Cup, and then they play on an all-weather cup. Some of them can't even cope because they're not even used to their thing. They're used to playing on grass, on grass. Some are used to playing on gravel courts. And to me is, facilities go hand in hand with what we expect out of players. I mean, Dr. Petrus Motsepe said it all. I mean, the chairman said it all to say, why are other schools excelling? It's because of the facilities they have. And we must start also investing in facilities.
Mm-hmm. This augurs well with us as South Africa, saying that we're hosting the World Cup. And still on the hosting part, I saw you nod your head when the Premier said he wishes the World Cup would have been you're doing it again. The World Cup would have been hosted in Gauteng, knowing where you come from with the host that never wanted to be host. What does it say to you now that the Gauteng door is open? Are we looking forward to you working with Gauteng going forward instead of what happened with the World Cup, where you probably wanted to have it in Gauteng, but the powers that be said no ways?
I was overwhelmed by the Premier when he said that, because to me it says we can knock at any time on the Gauteng door. You've interviewed me before. You know that I went to eThekwini, they said no. I went to Johannesburg, they said no. I went to Tshwane, they said no. And I was like, what am I going for now? And we went to Buffalo City. Yes, they were saying yes, they were nodding their head. However, they didn't have a facility that we could sell to World Netball at the time. And Cape Town was the venue for us. And, we would say thank you to the city of Cape Town, because we wouldn't have hosted it if they didn't say to us, yes, we have opened doors. But this gesture of Gauteng now, and Premier Lusufi saying, you know what, sport is the new gold for Gauteng. We are going to knock on his door. We are going to irritate him so much. And I'm going to challenge him. I'm bringing the TNL here. Let me see what he does with the TNL that I'm bringing to Gauteng.
You're speaking about the TNL. Let's just take it to the national level as well and say we saw the quads. Our girls did good against 3 top countries that play netball. And when we spoke to Bongi Wemsomi, she said she feels that they could have done more, but what they did was the actual preparation that they needed to put netball where it is right now. How much of work do you think is left now that you've been with the team, you've been in the camp, the time is getting shorter and shorter? I mean, the tournament is just going to kick in less than 60 days or so from now.
You're aware that the girls were in Australia the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
So we took them to Australia to go and play the best of the best clubs in the world, because the Suncorp League, there's nothing like the Suncorp League when it comes to netball in the world. So we said to them, go to Australia, go and experience the intensity of netball in the world. And we will do everything in our power to make sure that these girls get the court time that they need we are blessed. I think we are blessed to have 8 of our players playing overseas at the moment that I'm talking to you right now, to play in this league. And we are going to start our TNL this year. As we started, we are going to give these girls more game time and more opportunities. All I'm waiting for is for the coach, because when you say to the coach, play Scotland, she says, President, what's the use of me playing a team that I'll beat with more than 30 goals? I need a team that will challenge me, that I'll challenge at the end of the day. So is when we promise you that medal podium finish on the 6th of August, we know what we mean.
Just the last one from me, Chris. You spoke about the volunteer program for all the people within South African borders, but then the conclusion that came with it. Just wrap it up for us. Where is it? How did it go? What is the latest on that, and all the logistics around that?
I want to say thank you to South Africans, because we've got more than 6,000 applicants, and we only need 300 volunteers for the World Cup, for which I had a meeting yesterday. They said they want to increase it because of they're looking at we're having a morning and an afternoon session at the World Cup. So the process is on. We are busy shortlisting people. We're giving all South Africans an opportunity to experience the World Cup, you know, first time in 60 years on an African soil, especially in South Africa, and giving the South Africans that opportunity to say, you know, come and see the best of the best play in the world.
And just maybe closing, President, it's exciting to see you here as President of SA Schools. Haven't seen him in a very long time, but you touched on it a bit when you were sitting at the podium, just how much of the work she did you in the beginning. Maybe share with us with some of the work that she brought closer to you, which has sort of now played a role in making sure that netball is sort of where it is today, because some people only see it either at the national level and these levels, but they never really understand what really goes down there. And then you've got individuals like this who are really putting in the work as well.
Look, Dai is doing a brilliant job at schools netball. As I said before, she challenged me when I came in and said there's no relationship between Netball South Africa and schools. And to me, it was wrong. Very wrong, because that's where we get our players from, truly speaking. When you look at the Region 5 games that we play, and you know that most of the Region 5 games players are from schools, and if you don't have that relationship, where are you going to get these players? And you know that we negotiated. Now they've got the DSTV Schools Challenge. It's because of the relationship that they have with Netball South Africa, and SuperSport has been our sponsors for a very long time. And you all know that you cannot separate DSTV from SuperSport. They are one company, even though they're calling in different names. And we said to them, look, we want to work together. We want to do this together. You also know that we share a tournament that is TNC Telkom Netball Champs. So we are building this relationship that I'm saying to schools, you know what? You are our associate members. We appreciate you, and we want to take this girl child and make sure that when she leaves schools, she even has a bursary to go to university. Hence, we have this relationship between Netball South Africa schools and USA, because most of our girls, they end up playing at university and getting free bursaries through netball to go and study. Because I always say to them, if I can go to school and learn and read and be the leader I am, who is learned, you can also do that. Because I used to play at the university and also, do netball, and look where I am today. So you can do that. I always encourage our players to go to school. So this relationship to us is very important. Thank you to Dai and her executive for understanding us. And thank you to my executive for understanding them, because that is key. Because understanding each other and that mutual understanding is key, because we can drive this this flight together, and we can say to the young girl that is looking up to us to say there's future in netball.
Thank you so much, Press.
Thank you.
Thank you.